me, Sarah Adorable, and welcome to my channel. Hello guys! Sushi, tingin ka doon. Hello guys! How are you? I hope you're all doing great. Let me introduce you my adorable Shih Tzu, Sushi. And this video is about bringing my dog, or bringing Sushi here in the United States. So, if you're like me, who's a dog lover and want to bring your dog here in the US and don't know how to start the process, please keep on watching. But before anything else, if you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, please subscribe and turn on the bell button on for you to be able to be updated on my next videos. So, okay, Sushi, how are you? Are you good? Okay. So let's get started. First, the CDC, or the Center for Disease Control, started banning the dogs for coming here in the US from different countries. Before, it was easy to bring dogs from the Philippines here in the US. But then, starting December 1, 2021, they started banning the dogs from high-risk countries, including Philippines. Okay, let me start with the CDC requirements according to their website. You can view the full details in cdc.gov. Number 1 is maximum of 2 dogs per trip. Second, the dog should be at least 6 months old. So Sushi is 1 year old. Number 3, ISO compatible microchip. As for me, I bought a microchip from Pet Dentity. You can search it on Facebook. I bought it for like 500 pesos plus 400 for the passport. And then number 4, valid rabies vaccination certificate issued by your veterinary. And then number 5, this is the most expensive, valid rabies serologic titer. And number 6, one of the airports with a CDC quarantine station. So check with the CDC if your airport is included in that 18 stations or 18 airports. So before you apply, give yourself plenty of time. CDC takes 30 business days to process a valid permit application. So for me, I started 3 months before my planned flight here in the US. So my flight was June 24. I started my application March 26. I brought her to the vet in Manila in Philippine Animal Medical Center March 26 and had her rabies serologic titer done. So it took like less than a month. The result was April 18, 2022. They informed me through Viber and email that the result is out. So luckily, she passed the test. So her rabies titer result is 41.59 IU per ml. According to this, antibody level must be 0.5 IU per ml or above. So she passed. If your CDC permit granted, it is valid from 14 days before your planned date of arrival and until 90 days after the planned date of arrival. Mine was granted from June 9 to September 21, 2022. And this can be only used once. Second, permit application form. You should take a picture of the front view of your dog's teeth and the side view. So make sure the dog's teeth is showing. And then the rabies vaccination certificate from your local vet. So I had to go to my vet to obtain a vaccination certificate because the valid It's only valid if it's certificate. They won't gonna accept if it's rabies record or just a sticker from the vet or the pet health card. And then the microchip number, and then the titer, minimum of 30 days after initial rabies vaccination, and 45 days before US entry. Test result is valid 1 year, and then passport photo. I also submitted my visa photo. Also, they ask for my address here in the US and the contact number. So here's my timeline. I started March 26, 2022. So I brought sushi to the vet in Manila in PAMC. You can check their Facebook account. Just type Philippine Animal Medical Center. There are also other vets offering rabies titer tests. As I chose PAMC because aside from rabies serologic titer test that they will send to Korea, they also offer BAI export permit processing. Like, I don't have to go to Manila to process at the Bureau of Animal Industry. So I live in the province. That's why I chose them to process her papers in behalf of me. And then again, we started March 26, 2022. Blood drawn from sushi, and they also gave her NexGard Spectra. Then the rabies titer result was April 18, 2022. So I kept following up with them through Viber or emails. They informed me right away that the result is out. So she is 41.59, which is very safe. Then May 4, I went to Sushi's vet to get a rabies vaccination certificate. So you need to remember that CDC will not accept the sticker on your pet's health card without the rabies vaccination certificate. It should be like this. Let me show you. Can be handwritten too by your vet. So I'm gonna tell you what are the details needed to be included in the rabies vaccination certificate. So first is the date of when it was given, the certificate. Then, when is the rabies vaccination or rabies booster done, the date, and what is the lot number or the serial number, right? Need to write also the expiration date of that vaccine and the validity of that vaccine or booster. Then, who gave the vaccine? So, this is the name of your veterinarian with license number plus expiration of that license. And then following are the dog's details, your dog's details. Patient name, species, breed, sex, color, weight, birthday, owner, which is your name, and your address, and her or his microchip number. So, below is the doctor's or veterinary's name and signature, and then license number and license expiration. That's it. You need to secure this before you apply for the CDC permit. And then, I started my application May 5. So, the next day. Because I received the visa or the US visa May 5. So, I made sure that I have already my visa before applying to CDC or before submitting permit application to the CDC. Guys, don't try to apply for CDC permit yet if you haven't have your visa. You need to secure your US visa first. And then, June 1st, I followed up with the CDC because I was worried because my flight is June 24 and I was kind of like OC. So I messaged them that my flight is coming, and they replied that just wait. And then June 3rd, they approved my CDC permit. So they sent me an email. I'm gonna show you what's the email look like, and there's also a QR code. It's said that you have to get your dog's rabies vaccine within 10 days after arriving in the US. Next step is I forwarded that email to the PAMC, and then they asked for my flight details. So I gave them my flight details. So before that, Sushi had an annual vaccine, so I had to get the vet card from PAMC. I have to get it back from them, so they mailed it to me via LBC. So I needed to send it back to them. It was like June 18 or June 17 when I sent it back to them. They received it the next day, and then June 20 they processed Sushi's paper to the Bureau of Animal Industry. And then the next day or the same day it was done, and they mailed it to my address in the Philippines, and then the next day I received it, which is June 22. So these are the papers that I received, or the documents I received from the PAMC. And guys, remember this. Okay, listen. Number 1 is the original vaccination card, because the BAI, or the Bureau of Animal Industry, will gonna check the vet card with photocopy. And then original BAI export certificate number 2552 plus photocopy. An original veterinary health certificate signed by licensed veterinarian, which is from PAMC, and the original rabies antibody test certificate with receipt number plus photocopy. So that's it. Guys, you have to consider your airlines before you book your flight. You need to search for pet-friendly airlines. If you have a bigger dog, like 7 kilos or more, you need to buy a kennel for your dog, because they're gonna be in cargo or under the plane. I'm not very particular with it, but for Sushi, she only weighs less than 7 kilos, so she's allowed inside the cabin. So our airline is Korean Air. 2 weeks before the flight, I emailed them, or I sent them a message through Facebook Messenger about my dog's details. So they're gonna ask you the weight of the dog and your kennel or the pet carrier. The carrier should be the dimension the airlines require. So check it with the airlines you're considering. For me, Korean Air was my only choice because I searched for Japan Airlines. I think they don't allow dogs inside the cabin anymore, and I think PAL allows. I'm not sure if they allow personal dogs. So remember, if you have a small dogs like Shih Tzu, like Sushi, it should be weighing 7 kilos. Max 7 kilos with her carrier. So this is your pet carrier looks like. I bought it from Shopee. It's like 600, around 600 pesos. It's a soft carrier. That carrier should be fit under your seat, so you're not allowed to take out your dog. So she should stay inside the kennel. As of Sushi, she was calm during the flight. Only she got agitated a bit when there was a turbulence and she wanted to go out. She didn't pee at all. So we were traveling like 24 hours because we had a layover in Korea. We're supposed to have a layover there for 2 hours, but our flight was delayed, so we didn't have a chance to take her out to pee or drink or eat. She didn't drink, she didn't eat, not at all. So I was so worried, and thank God she survived the flight. It's her first time to fly in an airplane. I think that's it. So just remember, guys, plan first before you decide to bring your dogs. And your dog should not be pregnant. Your dog should not have any sickness or illnesses. Check which is the right vet for you to process the rabies serological titer. You can also do it yourself by going to your local vet. Ask them to withdraw blood from your dog and send it in an insulator container. I don't know, I'm not particular with it, but you can send it through FedEx, DHL or something. You just have to search for the list of CDC accredited laboratories in their website. So as for PAMC, their laboratory is in South Korea, so it's kind of quick. Took only less than a month. So if you're wondering how much was the rabies titer was plus the fee to the PAMC, I spent 33,000 pesos, more than around 33,000 pesos. So you have to decide, you have to plan accordingly before you start the process, because it's not a joke. You have to have money to bring your dog here. As for me, I can't leave sushi, so I sacrificed. As for me, I can't leave sushi. I just can't, so I sacrificed. And the Korean Air, there's also a fee for the pet. It's 300 USD. And then for the NextGuard Spectra 2, which is advisable or should be needed before the dog fly here in the US, they need to be given every month. So after Sushi's next dose of Spectra, I just gave it myself. So I just bought some in Shopee. It's cheaper compared to the vet. So in PAMC it was like 900 pesos, imagine, and in Shopee it's almost 500, so huge difference of price. So next is our experience in the airport. So the staff just asked for her CDC permit. So I forgot to print the CDC permit, so I just showed my email or the CDC email to the staff. I handed all Sushi's paper to the staff, to the airport staff, and he checked it. It took like 15 minutes because maybe they're so strict about bringing dogs. They have to confirm it to the CDC. He checked it one by one and then asked for $300. I forgot to mention our experience here in the airport when we arrived. So it was just smooth. The officer or the immigration officer, the customs, didn't even ask for her papers. Maybe because the CDC already emailed them her permit or her CDC permit. So the total of our expenses is 33,000 plus 300 USD plus my vet's certificate fee, so it's around 50,000. No, 50,000 plus my fare to Manila. More than 50,000, guys. So, you have to think twice if you're planning to bring your dog here. And remember, when you arrive here, you should go to the vet and have your dog's vaccine or rabies vaccine done. Even if your dog only received his vaccine within the year, it's according to the CDC. You have to follow it unless you're gonna have a penalty. And then after you arrive, also you have to quarantine your dog. You're not allowed to bring your dog anywhere from within that 10 days. If you like this video and found it helpful, please click like and subscribe. And if you have any comments, questions, or any suggestions, I'm gonna be happy to answer you guys. So see you on my next vlogs. Thank you. God bless you always. Take care. Bye.